Hi, my name is Alan Salas, and today we're going to talk about the Assessment 2 case for information system in business. First of all, here's the index on what are we going to see during the presentation. And first, let's begin with an introduction about Care Connect Health Group, which is based in Brisbane, Australia, but has 45 clinics over 2 different states in Australia and more than 2,000 employees. And their system of growing is acquiring smaller clinics so they can get more and more clinics through Australia. Well, they currently have these main issues, which are fragmented patient communication, which is patients receive or double messages or no messages about a follow-up. They also have not a single view of the patient, which means that they do not have everything stored in one side. So whenever the patient goes to another clinic, even though it's the same group, they cannot access their information and they cannot give the best treatment that they could have. There's also a manual and reactive process and a limited telehealth integration, which means that staff usually relies on handwritten notes or spreadsheets to make everything they need, which is not the best way to do it. And it is also managing different when a patient comes to inside a clinic or make an appointment through a phone call, which end up doing duplicate services or stuff like that shouldn't happen. And there's also a low retention on patients because we don't really know why. So we're going to try to do it. We can summarize these problems into 3 main issues, which is the decentralized information and fragmented communication, the data privacy because it's not something safe wherever they storage it, and the low patient retention. So we have these proposed solutions, which would be adopting Healthcare Cloud by Salesforce, which helps us with a lot of our problems. First of all, it has a 360 patient view, which means that data can be on multiple places at the same time because it's on a cloud. So you can go to a clinic in Brisbane or Victoria and they would end up helping you with the same data in every single time. It is also pulled data from the current legacy systems, which is something good because we need to translate the current information we have into the newest system independently of which one would be. It is also automates the communication with patients. It sends messages allowing doctors to communicate with them whenever they need to make a new appointment or a change or even remind them that they have an appointment. It also allows doctors from all around the country to access the patient information. And it is a cloud-based system which allows us to escalate it easily. So it really helps us with most of our problems. And we have 2 real-life successes specifically with this software, which is Susan Komen and Nebraska Medicine Studies, which is 2 places. Susan Komen managed to automate the patient communication with this software and has seen a 600% increase since 2020 on the patients she has been able to attend thanks to this system. And the Nebraska Medicine Institution managed to change paper files into all one system that makes easier every time they need to retrieve data from a patient, which is one of the problems we are facing in our clinics right now. And well, the system development lifecycle is something that we need to take in consideration in this case. We can see that we have identified the problems, that we have determined what human information is required, like for example the name or the data from a patient, and how to put it into the software via our employees and collaborators. It has been also analyzed what we need specifically, and we have brought a solution to this. We did not design a recommended system, not as a software, but more of as a system on how to start doing things from now on our clinics, all aligned with the system that we're going to bring into the company. We also have a way to test and maintain the system, which would be after implementing it, we might do a test every 6 months to see how much patients are staying with us contrary to before we had the system, and we can evaluate with those numbers every 6 months, which brings me to another point, which is not necessarily must be a constant growth, because in the end we will end up having probably everything filled up, and everything filled up, it's a good news, because if it's not going down, and it cannot also go higher on the numbers because it will be literally impossible without acquiring another small clinic. And this is some cases around the world where system development cycle has been adopted, and two of them are real-world scenarios with Adventist Health, which united more than 20 legacy systems, which is even more than what I think we have right now. And this has reduced the time to solve the patient's problem by 90% since they implemented a software solution. And the Baron Wealth that had a problem similar to us, where they couldn't consult data from their patients and struggled to coordinate staff whenever they needed to attend a patient or generate something new for them. So now that the information is centralized, they have been monitoring this every month and nothing has been lost and everything has been better for the patients. And well, after this we are going to see what gathering techniques are we going to have. I think that the best solution is to have questionnaires and interviews with the patients, which would help us knowing what they want or what have they liked and what have they don't like. And we can also see what can we improve going further in time. And a real life example of these gathering techniques, I would put a Kaplan Business School, the same school we are attending, because they send every end of trimester, a questionnaire in order to improve, and they have seen a raise in the happiness of the students whenever they listen to them. And almost reaching the end, we have the strategic alignment, which is basically comprised notes of what we've talked about. It helps with these strategies we have right now, as it centralizes information and it gives you a personalized view of each patient. It will help with having more patient retention by knowing everything they need, and even if they leave, we could see what is that they didn't like through the questionnaires. We will have automated messages so they know when to come back to the clinic, and it will also have an integrated telehealth system. Right now, as we said, if a patient makes an appointment through the phone, it ends up being duplicated if the patient comes and do it also in person. With this system, it wouldn't happen again. And well, as a conclusion, Salesforce Health Cloud, it is a really good option because it attends every single point that we've talked about until now. And well, thank you for your attention.